Hello, hello. How is everybody? Oh boy. I hope we don't have buffering problems again today, but welcome in. Welcome to Lewis Acre Farm. Meet Me Monday. I want to welcome those who are here for the live and the play. Hi, Logan. Glad to have you here. I want to give everybody a chance to show up who wants to be here today. I was hopeful that we would have a good showing today because I want to hey, Jesse and Lisa, so glad you're here. I'm glad you were able to catch a live today. My plan for today was to invite anybody and everybody who wants to join me on the live and just have a chat. No agenda, just chit chat. So if you are here and you want to come on live and chat with me, just let me know in the chat and I will put the link up so that you can come on and chit chat with me. I really have nothing in particular to talk about today. I just thought it'd be a fun way to get to know other people and just have a lot of fun. And so hang on just 1 second. I'm going to mute my mic for a second if I can figure this out there. Okay, I'm back. So anyway, what has everybody been up to these days? Been doing anything fun? Getting into any kind of trouble lately? We've been busy doing little projects and just building some fun things around here. Logan and I celebrated our 10th anniversary on Friday and our 13th anniversary on Saturday. We've been together for 13 years, but married for 10. And that's why we have 2 anniversaries. So we did a building project on Friday, and then we went out to dinner and dessert on Friday for our anniversary and just had fun being out on a date together for a change. And so let's see. I am going to attempt to figure this out. Okay. If you would like to join me on the live, I'm going to post the link. I do have a survival seed hat. I bought that about a month ago, and I love it. It is really, really nice. Very comfortable. Let's see. How do I pin a comment? I guess you can't pin a comment. Okay. Anyway, there is the link if you would like to come up on the stage with me and chit chat. Anybody who comes in, we'll have just a little chat. And anyway, but something else that we've been doing is about. Oh, okay, that's how I have to do it. Okay. My phone here. I'll figure me out one of these days. Okay. There we go. Now I have it pinned. There is a little, very young little mama kitty that had her babies under our house. And, oh, there you are. Let me bring you up. Hi. Did I forget to unmute?
No, hi. I can hear you.
Can you not? Okay.
I was just messing with you.
Yeah. I figured that's something you do. What is it?
I said, good morning.
It's afternoon.
No, it's still morning here.
No, I don't think so. Unless you're in the Pacific.
When you just get up, it's morning.
Oh, okay. I see how you are.
No, I'm just messing. How you doing? I see you got your survival seat hat. That must mean you're out in the garden.
I am sitting under the elm tree in the middle of our yard.
Okay.
Which our garden borders all the yard.
Yeah. Is that the highway right there to your left? Behind you? Is that the main highway? 40? What was it? 42 or
84?
84.
No, that's on the other side.
Oh,
I'll rotate the computer, and you can maybe see some cars back there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other direction.
we were down that highway, and I remember seeing the exact same tree. It was green at the time. Yep. So I say that because I'm messing around. Hey, so what's been going on with Logan? Is he working right now? Because I saw him put out a comment on our live the other day. I think it was on our live. Said something about auctions. If you want to take a cow to auction or animals to auction. So is he doing? Is he going to start doing the bidding part of it now?
Well, what he's doing is he's trying to do his part to help bring in more cattle to the auction.
Oh, more business. Okay.
Right. And he does have another job at the same business, same place. Right. He works on Tuesdays as a yard man. I can't remember the exact title that they gave him for that, but what he does is he tags the animals that are coming in so that they can be run through the auction on Tuesdays when they have their sale. But he also has picked up another job at the Seven Rivers Livestock. And he is now acting yard man, which is what they call it, is the yard man. And he is taking care of the place as far as the outside stuff, taking care of weeds, cleaning pens, doing repairs. What is it?
So he's just
maintenance.
So we call that here in Texas. Texas, we call him a jack of all trades.
Right. Right. And he does that on Thursdays.
Okay.
So he goes in on Tuesdays and Thursdays now.
That's good. I mean, he was going in one day. Now he's going in 2 days.
Right. And he's also, right now, he's kind of on call. And he got called on Friday while we were out to dinner. And we thought we were going to have to make a quick trip over to Emmett to help load out some cattle. But it worked out that the owner of the business went in and took care of it. So we didn't have to go. But
I saw the comment there and I'm thinking, wait a minute, is he branching out on his own? Is he going to start doing cattle auctions on his own? And is he going to start being an auctioneer? What is behind this, you know?
No.
But he's trying to bring in business for the company. I got you.
Yeah. We don't have a broker right now. And so he's just kind of branching out a little bit, trying to help let people know that we exist and that we do take out-of-state cattle. I know that we've had cattle from as far away as Nebraska.
Really?
And
Idaho?
Oh yeah, and we're certified to handle Canadian cattle, and we have Canadian buyers there every week. So,
did Lisa ever tell you that I was certified?
Certified crazy?
Yeah. She says I'm certified, but in a different kind of way. But anyway.
You get Minnesota cattle too? Yep. Oh, I didn't know that. You just told me they get Minnesota cattle also.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, tell Logan he can say he's made it once he gets Texas cattle. When you can get some Texas cattle up there, then you've made it.
Did you hear that, Logan? Jesse says that if you can get Texas cattle up there, then you've made it.
I think we have had a few Texas before, but the shrinkage rate is just too much.
Come over here and talk.
They can't handle that heat. That cool weather.
You got to get down here so they can see.
Hey, Logan, I like talking to your belly button, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had Texas cattle come in before, but the shrinkage rate is just too much on. They don't gain enough back when they after they get off the truck to shrink rate.
Right, so, right. It's a long drive too. For
it
cattle.
is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they would get there any faster if they put them on a plane?
Probably. Probably.
Or let's say we put them on a train.
There you go. Bring the old stock cars back that used to be on the train. I'd love to unload, because every one of our barns, except this one, is not really on a siding, but there is a train. We can get them close to a train track that's right there. Most of them have it.
That would seem to me the most economical would be a train, because a truck or even a fifth wheel seems to me it would be very, very costly and probably really taxing on the cattle, being cooped up in that cage like that.
Yeah.
Stockyards were originally built next to train tracks for that very
depots,
purpose of transport.
One of the most famous stockyards is the one sorry about that, near Dallas, Fort Worth, the Fort Worth stockyards.
Fort Worth.
That's where where it was located, right next to the train depot.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
they were built strategically for transportation purposes.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be branching out now, huh? You're going to be going and trying to. Actually, you're acting as a sales representative for the company,
right? Yeah. Yep.
Well,
that's
that's not technically what you've been hired to do on your second day, but you're doing it on your own. Try to be helpful.
Yeah. It's mostly maintenance, man. What they want me to do now is just come around and clean up. Like there's no sale tomorrow due to the 4th. We're off this whole week. But I'm going over just in case somebody was to show up and drop something off. We can check them in.
Okay.
So that way we don't lose. We won't lose a potential seller.
Yeah.
If they show up and there's nobody to receive, then they may decide, well, if you're not going to be here when I come with cattle, then I just won't come back.
Yeah.
Right.
This way, there's somebody there. Then we can either receive cattle and keep them over for a week, or we can let them know if you want to bring them back next week, we'll be here. And then we don't lose that potential seller to another auction in the area.
Right. Well, how soon or how far in advance can a seller bring in his cattle or whatever they're selling, goats, whatever? How soon or in advance can they bring in the stock?
A week.
Oh, 7 days. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the sale happens. Let's say that 7 days later, the sale happens 7 days later. After the sale happens, how much longer can they stay there before the new owner has to pick them up?
7 days if you want. We can work with you 7 days because a lot of the buyers that we have will buy them and not actually pick them up, and they will turn around and resell them again that following week.
So it's safe to say that some cattle or a cow can be there as many as 14 days then before it's moved out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Well, that's good. Now you guys have a good, and you guys have a big enough, and you have a big enough facility there to where you can house them, feed them, water them, let them graze if they need to.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We can put them on feed, and that's what I've got to do is make sure they get plenty of food and water on non-sale days. And we have
and that's even with the Idaho water restrictions.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation going around and a lot of outside influences coming in and spreading falsehoods about that whole issue.
Yeah.
And very political. And just like any other issue, a lot of outside people from the East and everywhere else coming in and demanding things that they know nothing about.
Right. And that always happens like this close to elections. You're going to get a lot more stories, a lot more falsehoods, a lot more conspiracy theories, all kind of stuff to just kind of rile people up. Absolutely. Because regardless of what you think, it's always to get people to the polls, get them to go vote one way or the other,
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't too awfully long after you sent me that video about the water issues here that the governor had issued a statement that they've already worked it out. It's already been taken care of. They've taken care of the issue.
Right.
and
But
the
but I can
curtailment.
see how that could, but I can see how that curtailment stuff could spill over into other states, because one of them says, "Wait, hey, that's working in Idaho. That probably worked for us too," and it's just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
sad that people.
Well, it all boils down to water rights, and if
Correct.
you have your junior rights and you have your senior rights, and senior rights hold priority. And whether you like it or you don't like it, if you hold junior rights and you're not fully in compliance with your regulations, then sorry, but your rights are not superior regardless of what you are raising or not raising. Your
Exactly.
rights are superseded by senior rights holders.
Yeah.
And
So, Carmen,
as much as we
let me ask you,
it,
are you watching this live on your computer or on your phone?
I have it on the computer right now, but I do have it also on my phone. I need to probably turn that off now that I've pinned it.
No, that's okay. No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking, you are watching it on a computer. Now, on your computer, are you watching it on StreamYard, or are you
Yes.
watching it on YouTube?
I'm using StreamYard to.
You're watching our picture side by side is on StreamYard, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, oh, good, because there's some sort of there's like maybe a 2 second, maybe even a 3 second delay, and that's why I'm making sure you're watching it on your StreamYard, not on your YouTube. You can have YouTube open, but there's like a 6 or 7 second delay on that, which is for a purpose, for a reason. But some people will log into their StreamYard to log in. Let's say they come in and to want to talk to you, but then they start looking at their phone. Well, their phone is 7 seconds behind what we're communicating. So you always want to use your StreamYard for the conversation and just use your phone for everything else. Like you want to pin something, or if you want to see if somebody put in a super chat, or if you want to, anything like that. But you should not use your phone as your eye source, to look
Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah.
If I'm using StreamYard, I'm using StreamYard.
Correct. Because there's just like a 1.5, maybe a 2 second delay, and I'm noticing it now. And it may not be it may not be StreamYard. It may be on your end as far as the internet service provider is concerned. So there may be that reason.
It could also be because I'm sitting outside instead of in the house close to the internet. Because I have really good internet service.
Yeah, I think you guys aren't you guys on fiber optic?
No.
No, you're not fiber optic?
Yeah, no, I'm on cable.
AT&T? Oh, cable.
No, okay. Sparklight, Cable One.
Okay. Is that
it's Sparklight?
Is it that's the internet provider around there?
Yeah.
I got you. So what you guys got planned for the 4th? Anything?
I keep forgetting to contact Bronson and tell him that we wanted to do a barbecue with him. Otherwise, he's going to be. I've been busy, and I haven't had a chance to reach out to him and let him know. But that's what we want to do, is have a barbecue with him.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Logan would love some fresh baby back ribs or something, right?
Oh yeah, I sure will. I sure will. Yeah, I may have to run over to barn. I'm not sure yet on that, but I may have to run over, and maybe somebody want to bring something out if there's anything left. But
yeah,
because I may have to set up some feed.
That won't take too long.
Won't take very long. We're about a half hour from my job. Takes me a half hour to get from the house to work.
But
it's only 18 miles.
Yeah, and if the situation is there's no animals there over the weekend, the July 4th weekend, then you wouldn't have to go back. But if there are animals, they got to be fed, they got to be watered, they got to be taken cared for, right?
Right.
So it's an
Exactly.
everyday
Yes.
process. There's animals don't know any holidays.
That's right. That's right. I know for
They don't
sure
know
we've got
Christmas.
a horse coming tomorrow.
Right. They don't know Christmas from New Year's to July 4th. They don't know any of that. They just know I want to eat and I want to drink.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right.
Real quick here, if there's anybody else that's watching who would like to join in and chat with us, there is a link pinned in the comments. Just click on that link or type that into your browser or however you do it. And you're welcome to join us on the panel and chat with Jesse and myself and Logan.
You bet.
We'd love to
And
have
if
you
you're
join
watching-
in on the conversation.
And if you're watching this afterwards, in the replay, put it on there at 2 times the speed and you'll have a great time watching. No.
There you go. Yeah.
So are you guys gonna be in town though, or are you gonna be leaving out of town or anything for the July 4th weekend?
No, we'll be here unless something happens with his stepdad, then we'll be here.
Okay, right. And his stepdad is how far away?
2 hours.
Hunter, it's
Is it,
from Boise to Jerome. It's 111, but that's
so it's 2 hours in Idaho then?
yeah,
Yes.
2 hour drive from our house. Yeah.
He's in Wendell. You went
Is that
through
south?
Wendell.
Is that
Yeah.
south of
East.
Caldwell? Oh, east of Caldwell. Oh, it's further into the
When
state.
you went
Yeah.
when you went towards Twin Falls,
Right.
you went through Wendell.
Yeah, we went towards Twin Falls, but one of the twins was missing, so we just went around it.
Yeah.
So,
When you stopped at the Garden of Eden,
oh, that was an awesome place.
You were
too,
right
by the
there.
way.
yeah, that was right there at Twin Falls. Not in Twin Falls, but by Twin Falls. And
Yeah,
you
next
had
time you get around that Garden of Eden, you need to do a short there, or not a short, but a live, and show people around the Garden of Eden.
Okay.
That would be a good little video.
Yeah, now that he's got that extra day a week, we'll be able to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
We just haven't had it to make trips and
Yeah, of course.
go on drives and such.
Right.
And we've also had so many projects here that we've had to get done. We just haven't been able to get away from the place.
Hey, now how come you didn't win on Survival Seeds this Sunday? Come, you always win. Are you losing your karma?
Well, you got to have time to watch the videos and make comments, and you also have to be awake to win.
I can't make it any easier.
I was watching the live, but I was nodding off an awful lot. I was so exhausted yesterday. I took a nap.
Not my live. I can understand my live, but I'm talking about on Survival Seeds on Sunday night.
Hey, now wait a minute.
Y'all are 2 hours behind us. So
yes,
that's 4
I know.
o'clock. If you're falling asleep at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we got to have a talk.
I was having trouble staying awake at church. I was so exhausted yesterday. I don't ever take naps anymore, but I had to take a nap yesterday. That's bad.
Yeah.
But no, here's what I don't understand. I won the iFlush book from you guys, and I won your poop book.
Okay.
And yes, Saturday you gave away another poop type book, and I didn't win. What's up with that?
Because I'm full of poop.
What's up with that? I didn't win that one. It would have made a trio of poop books.
Exactly.
But what happened?
You must have been asleep on the pooper.
There you go. Probably was. Yeah.
I call it like I
my
see it.
name I had my name in there, and it just went right on by. It just floated on by.
No, yeah, it just floated on by. You know, those books have been pretty good. I mean, they got a lot of good information. They really do.
They
And I'm sure
do.
Logan was just.
I've really enjoyed that second one. I've had a chance to actually look through that second one, and that's been really fascinating.
Right. I mean, the thing about it is this is a subject that people are kind of somewhat scared to talk about. And they're scared to, ask questions about. And the book explains it. I mean, it says, hey, this is why your poop is this, and this is what poop comes from, and where it goes, and all that stuff. And it's just because people, it's a dirty subject.
Yeah.
It is.
And
Kind of stinky too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I worked as a developmental therapist for several years, working with developmentally delayed autistic adults and children.
Right.
And I don't get this at all. I raised my son to understand that bodily functions happen.
Correct.
So what? It's a bodily function. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to be embarrassed by. It happens. Everybody does it.
Well,
body parts are not something.
I got to correct you on something, Karma. That's not a bodily function. That's a bodily malfunction.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I also raised him to understand that body parts are just body parts. There's none that are to be ashamed of or that are shameful. And so that as he got older, he knew proper names and that it was never something taboo.
Right.
And so then as I worked with this one particular girl, she was 12, we were at the park and she was my client, and there were other techs, as we were called, working with other children, and they were sitting on the ground playing a board game. She happened to lean forward to move her piece because she had to reach the piece to move it around the board. And she happened to break wind. And she did excuse herself, but as 12-year-olds do, she chuckled, but she did say, "Excuse me." Another tech who had worked with her in the past told her, "Excuse yourself. You go to the bathroom to do that." And I thought, whoa. First of all, she was my client. Second of all, sometimes that sneaks up on you and you can't control it. And really go to the bathroom to break wind? Okay.
Yeah,
It happens.
You know.
It's a bodily
Yeah, it happens.
function.
And it sounded like it wasn't even intentional. It was just something that it just blurted out.
It just happened.
Right?
Yep.
Exactly. Right. So I was doing an assessment for my son. He's autistic. And in order to get services, you have to qualify.
Okay, Karma, I've heard you say this several times, okay? And I hate to correct you because this is your child, okay? He may be autistic, but he's high-functioning autistic, so you can't eliminate that word. You need to say he's high-functioning, because when you just say autistic, people just all of a sudden bring him down to a certain level. I have a friend of mine who has an autistic son, but he's high-functioning, okay? He's got some issues, but he's like a Rain Man. I mean, the guy he's very, very smart. He has very good memory. He can tell you what year the Astros won the pennant from the very first time. You know what I'm saying? He's high functioning, and your son's the same way. So you don't want to rob him of that. I'm not trying to scold you or anything. I'm just saying, because people, I know, really, it's just like saying my son's. It's like saying my son's retarded. Well, okay, if my son's retarded, he has a certain. There's different levels, right?
Right.
And people just associate autism everybody being not right. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And your son is not that way. He may be autistic, but he's high functioning.
Right.
He knows computers. He's gotten you out of a bind a couple of times. So
Yeah.
You know, it's a badge that he ought to be proud of. You know, it's
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
that's my 2 cents worth.
I understand yeah. What I was going to say is, though, that in order to qualify for services, you have to meet certain thresholds. And
Right.
I was doing his assessment here this last week, and they were asking if certain behaviors happened, and they brought up the subject of passing gas in public. Hey, Lone Cross MTP, I didn't see you come in. You
Hey,
snuck
Scott,
in. How are you?
That's Scotty. That's Scotty.
Okay, I thought so.
Hey, Scotty, we're just having a conversation.
You're welcome to click the link and come on in. We'd love to have you in here. I can stay for about another 25 minutes, and then I'm going to have to go. But anyway, they brought up the subject of passing gas in public.
Right.
And if we did that, and I'm like, who doesn't? It happens.
Yeah.
And they make it sound like if you do, you're some ogre. And I
Yeah.
was just thinking to myself. And then I said, well, you know, if it happens, and especially if it's with family, they were asking if I bring any sort of correction or what kind of correction I bring. And I thought, correction for a bodily
That would
function?
be like, well, that would be like scolding somebody who sneezes. When you sneeze, you're throwing out all kinds of stuff, right? And why would you? It just doesn't make sense. Why would you scold somebody for something that's uncontrollable?
It is one thing if you're doing it to be vulgar,
correct?
You know, or if it just something that sneaks out, you know, and he knows enough to excuse himself. But then there are times when people are just plain being vulgar. And if you're just plain being vulgar, well, then that's something that does need to be addressed. But, I mean, where do they get these ideas that it's something that's so vulgar that you need to run to the bathroom to do it or be corrected?
Well, but I mean, our generation, a lot of that stuff was not talked about. Really wasn't. I mean, I'm 62 years old, and I can remember growing up. Mom and Dad didn't talk about that kind of stuff. We didn't talk about, we didn't talk about sex. We didn't talk about, the birds and the bees. We didn't talk about none of that. It was just was not done at our house. And I'm not saying everybody was like that, but our house, Mom and Dad didn't talk about that. In fact, when the kissing scene came up on a movie, we had to turn around or close our eyes or something. Hey, my mom and dad, hey, turn around, close your eyes, because they're fixing to kiss. That kind of stuff.
When I got my first bra, my mom took me, and we had to go over to where my dad worked at a mechanic shop and ask permission to take me shopping. And he was like, well, what does she need? And my mom whispered it real quiet, and he goes, oh, she needs unmentionables. Unmentionables. I need a bra.
Yeah.
It's clothing.
Yeah, mom and dad, when we right, but we wouldn't. My dad especially, and myself, I wouldn't go in and buy those female unmentionables. None of it, and to this day I won't, because that's the way I grew up, and it's just a mindset thing. I mean, I could probably go in there and buy them if I had to. I really, really had to. Well, in fact, my mom was, before she passed, she was in a stage where she had to have Depends, or the undergarments, right? Mm-hmm. And that was all mind blowing. That my mom was having to wear diapers. Well, I'm thinking, man, can I go in good conscience and buy these things? Because, it's just people just give you these looks like, what do you buy? Are these for you? No, they're for my mom. They're for my mom. She's 80 years old. She needs them. And, but
Yeah.
it's just because that's the way we grew up, and every generation after that has gotten a little bit more open about their promiscuity, about their sexual life, about their, I mean, you can look at fashion, how it's changed.
Well, and
fashion is,
there is an appropriate line where, there is, I believe there should be a line drawn for, I just lost the word I want to use, but appropriate behavior, appropriate
conduct,
topics of discussion, conduct,
well,
but I think that we've taken things a little too far this day and age, but some topics do need to be able to be discussed. And, it was too private at one time, and now it's gone the opposite direction to where anything goes.
Yep. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, a lot of us grew up learning about the birds and the bees and everything about just all the stuff they don't talk about at home through our peers and at school, That's how we knew about it, My mom and dad didn't sit me down and talk about, the birds and the bees or the, the things, how babies are made and all that. No, I learned that on my own. I had to because, mom and dad didn't talk about that stuff.
I'm thankful I had a mom who was raised that way and didn't want us girls raised that way. She sat us both down when the time was right, and she shared what we needed to know. She even gave us a book to read and then talk about with us.
Well, I had two sisters, and I don't know that my mom and dad talked to them, but they may have talked to my sisters differently than they dealt with me because, I would run the streets, but back then we could. I would run the streets. I would leave in the morning. I wouldn't come back till sundown, and that was okay. But my sisters couldn't do that. Oh no, no. They had to be around. They had to be within earshot of the house. They couldn't. My dad protected them like they were queens. But Jesse, hey, when you gonna come home? Are we gonna make supper for you or not? Because I was gone, we didn't have these taking up all our day. I tell you what, you want to ruin a child's livelihood, hand them one of these, and their childhood will go. It's out the window. Yep. Just give them one of these, and they won't have a childhood. Well, I'm so glad we didn't have them when I was growing up because we did everything under the sun. We got to experiment and explore and. Live life to the fullest. I mean, we did everything. We played. We played football. We had a great time. I mean, in summertime especially, because we didn't have nothing sitting us in the basement or sitting on the couch, 18 hours a day playing on one of these.
Right. That's right.
We
had imagination.
You were the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that's my rant.
Well, we
I'll shut up.
have a few more people in chat.
Show.
We have a few more people in here. If there's anybody that would like to come up and have a discussion with us, please click on the link that's pinned in the chat and or type it in however you need to do it. And come on up. We'd love to sit and chat with you too.
Yep, Karma was just teaching me about the birds.
It'd be a lot of fun to have somebody else in here. Your input. No, we're not having that discussion.
in her garden. I mean, as it relates to her garden. See, the birds come in and they eat all her seeds.
Right. Now, I
The
can tell
bees
you.
then don't, the bees then don't have any flowers that they can pollinate.
Right. Yeah.
I can tell you squash flowers have male flower, or squash plants have male flowers and female flowers. And the squash, the male flower has a little stem and the female flower has a little cup. And I'll leave the rest of it to your imagination.
Or lack thereof.
And we will be doing a video about work too. My job. We're gonna, when Alicia gets back, Karma's gonna come over and talk to her about some things, and we'll get the Seven Rivers going too on this.
You know, that's a good point there, Karma. I'm glad he mentioned that. As far as content, a lot of us don't understand the ins and outs of auctions or ins and out of sale barns. What all goes on behind the scenes? What do we not see? We see the guy said 100, 100, 225, 100, 100. We see that.
I have a series that I'm going to be putting together on the whole auction business, because there's a real misconception about how animals are treated, what happens at a sale barn, what the auction is really about. I have a brand inspector that I'm going to be talking to. I have an auctioneer that I'm going to be talking to. And then I am going to be going and talking to the auction barn itself, and hopefully be doing a full tour of an auction, the auction barn, how it's run, and then also hopefully capturing an auction, what takes place behind the scenes, talking to the people who work behind the scenes, and showing what truly goes on behind the scenes at an auction.
I will say this, and I'm just speaking because I know Johnny, but I'll say this: some of Johnny's biggest videos were the auction videos. I mean, when he had thousands upon tens of thousands of views because of the auction. People love seeing things like the auction, whether it be animal or farming equipment. The auctions just attract views, and if you can get something like that on video, that's gonna help your channel.
What's really prompted me to do this is that I follow another channel, and this particular channel has registered livestock that they're concerned about their safety, but they will not brand them because of who follows their page. And the people that follow their page, most of them are, even though, I don't want to name the channel because I don't want to cast any shade against them, because they're a wonderful channel. They run a sanctuary for abandoned and injured livestock, but they also, as a separate business, completely separate from the sanctuary, run registered cattle. They will not brand their registered livestock for the safety of the animal should they ever be stolen, which an attempt at theft of their animals has been made. They will not brand them because of the followers of the sanctuary and their attitude towards the sanctuary animals. And most of those who follow the sanctuary are bleeding hearts. Oh, you don't want to hurt the animal. Oh, you can't hurt the animal. Okay, yes, it might hurt the animal for 30 minutes. But would you rather hurt the animal for 30 minutes and have them be a little uncomfortable while it heals, or lose that animal for good? Because those brands are extremely important for the safety and security of the animal. And so that's what prompted me to start. First of all,
it also acts as their DNA. It actually, has a lot of information when you brand them or tag them. There's information about the breed, the history, the what do you call it, the genetics, where it came from, how old it is, what type of meat it is. All that kind of stuff is all that information is in. And if you don't have that, then that animal's somewhat in limbo.
That's right. Well, anybody,
that's their birth certificate.
If they don't have a brand and they are stolen or rustled, and rustling happens just as much now as it did in the wild, wild west. Yep. If they are rustled, then they are taken to a sale yard. Anybody could forge a bill of sale. But if they are rustled and they have a brand and they have a forged bill of sale, and that has been reported stolen, they're going to have a heck of a time proving how they got that animal with that brand when there's a brand inspector on site and there's a report of a stolen animal with that brand.
Right.
And so what I wanted to do to start with was to talk to the brand inspector about branding and the importance of it and that sort of thing there. And then it led to the auction, which led to the talking to the auctioneer. Logan has a really good buddy that he's known for years and years, who is the reserve. He's been reserve world champion auctioneer, and he's also reserve international auctioneer.
Yep.
He hasn't quite reached champion yet, so he still competes. But he has been reserve of both international and world. And so I'm gonna sit down and do an interview with him and talk to him about the business of being an auctioneer and the market and that sort of thing. So I have a 3-part series coming up. I can pull it all together, and hopefully I'll have it done and ready to go by September, because it's going to take a while to put it all together.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Eric's leaving. Eric is going to Calgary, Alberta again this year to compete again. And it's this weekend. He leaves. Well, I'm on the books for him from the 7th to the 17th. It happens during the Calgary Stampede.
Okay.
When he competes up there. But I've been in the auction business. I've helped. Starting out in the livestock auctions has prompted me to go and work for other auctioneers, auction companies, where we set up estate sales, farm sales, whatever. And it's been a wonderful experience for me.
So and I work very closely with the brand. Logan?
Biggest competitor? We are.
Who's your main competitor right now?
Treasure Valley.
Yeah, Treasure Valley Livestock around us. Yeah.
There's
only like, it's in Caldwell, Idaho, but there's only any more. Tom informed me, the guy that hauls cattle for all these places. And I used to work with him in Vale, Oregon. There's only Vale, Oregon, Treasure Valley Livestock, and us in this
In the Treasure Valley.
within 100 and some odd mile radius.
Right.
There's only us right now. So unless you go down now, when you get to Twin and Jerome in the Magic Valley, which is east of Boise, you have Jerome, and you guys went right by it when you were here. And in Jerome, that first exit, there was Producers Livestock in Jerome, and then Twin Falls Livestock in Twin Falls that I actually worked with. And then there, get on further east, there's Burley. They have a livestock yard here in Idaho, and Blackfoot still has one. And Shoshone, Idaho, which is north of Jerome, actually has one, but they're on the way of going out right now, I think. Shoshone, Idaho is. So right around us, go ahead.
Would you say that you're within? So I know that you have to be within a certain amount of miles in order for you to have sellers come to you. So, or would you say your business is, close enough to enough farmers or not ranchers rather, or do you have to be further east or further inland in order to get a lot of the business? Because
we've got a lot of farmers around us right now. We're in a pretty good location for it. I mean, they don't have to haul them a lot, but what made us so good is Eric's compete when he was at our barn before he left. He was going to buy this barn that I'm working on, and he's the one that got me the job over there and got me where I am now. And with him being there, he was bringing in those cattle from Nebraska and all over the east. He was bringing them all the way, and they're still getting them coming in Jerome and Twin. They still, at one time, the number one sale barn in the Northwest was Producers Livestock in Jerome. And I worked for that one for several years. I worked anywhere from 3 days a week to 4 days a week, non-stop at that one.
All right.
So, and then I went over to Twin and started on that one for basically. They were basically wanting help in Twin, so that's how I got started. And then I got started with an elderly gentleman, Glenn Nelson, retired insurance agent, which he was a big buyer for a private buyer for a lot of cattle for on the south side. And then the guy I knew years ago, Whitaker, Jim Whitaker, he was cattle buyer for the north side of the Snake River. It split them, and that I got acquainted with both of those guys, and boy, we were busy.
Now,
That's
Carmen,
kind of what kicked me.
Do you help him a lot with whenever he goes to the sale of the cattle sales and stuff, or do you just know a lot of this because of being around him?
When I was in high school, I used to go to the auctions with my aunt and uncle and my dad. And then when he started, hey, travels and gardening with DJ. Hi, welcome in.
Hey,
I used to go with him on Tuesdays and hang around at the tagging chute and watch everything, and then go sit and watch the sale. I haven't gone for quite a long time, but I do periodically, and then I listen to a lot as he talks about it, and I just observe. I've always been interested in livestock.
Well, I'm sure
one of my favorite animals is the cow.
There's a lot of people out there that are very interested in that kind of stuff. And like I said, some of the highest views that Johnny gets is around the auction, be it farm equipment or cattle or goats or, you know, sheep, whatever they're trying to auction. Auctions
yeah.
seem,
Right.
because people are inquiring, right? Most people are inquisitive, and they want to know things. They want to learn things, and that's the kind of stuff that people are interested in.
Yeah.
And they also like to see, what did he get? What did he win? What did he win? You know. So
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's fun to learn how to read, if you will, what the auctioneer is saying, and
right.
learn their power words, and learn how
There's a
to
method.
understand
There's a method.
them.
It's not just gibberish. There's a method to
No.
their conversation there.
Exactly, and that's something that I hope to uncover when I talk with Eric and do his interview.
I started to go to Kansas City auction school right after high school, and matter of fact, the counselors and stuff were trying to get me a grant to go, and they said, "Is he a veteran?" The only way they can get a grant was to do that. But that was in Kansas City, and I live a days across the state from Kansas City. I was on the south side. That's on the north end of Missouri. And I went to Springfield and worked with Grandpa the 2 weeks that I was to go to school. The bull that he bought, the Simmental bull and I begged him not to buy him, but he bought him anyway. But he went to the neighbors and spent a lot of time at the neighbors going through the fences. So I just went to Grandpa's and fixed fence for those 2 weeks. But I was to go to auction school, but and with me, that's my livelihood. I love a good auction, whether it be a horse auction or a cattle auction or whatever. I set up Unity Farm Sales in Jerome for 2 years with Sullivan Auction Service out of Jerome, Barry Sullivan and Ron Rogie, and they're just a lot of guys down there that I've worked with in the Magic Valley at that time. Really kicked it off for me, and then, like I say, I got reacquainted with Eric again, and didn't know he lived so close to me. He's just our neighbor right down the road, and so I go and take care of his place when he's gone, and mow his yard, take care of his goats, water his pasture, and he just.
So Logan,
and he.
Is there any appetite? Is there any appetite or any influence around having auctions online for cattle? Online auctions as opposed to having to be there?
Yes, there is. Superior Livestock is the #1 video auction and Eric works for them too. And sometimes we'll even stop our sales, not so much here as there was in Jerome and Twin, but we will stop ours and show a lot of cattle from all over. Everything Superior way is the way that they'd like to go, but we're trying to bring ours, because to me, there's nothing like hands-on with the animal coming in our business. Always market your animals, and
Shaw Cattle Company does a lot of online auctions with their animals. Shaw is one of the biggest in our area, not too far from us, with their with one of their biggest ranches.
Their sales are in February, I believe.
Right, because that does open up instead of having 100 men there to buy, you may have 10,000 men that could buy, or women that could buy online and say, "Hey, I want that cow. I'll pay for this," and they send somebody to pick it up. Right?
Yeah.
You just have a lot more resources.
Yeah, Superior Livestock, it'll sell all the way across the United States and Canada and Mexico. They support everything, and they'll have the trucks ready to haul, and they'll tell you everything on So if you get a chance, Superior Livestock, oh, and they have a lot of stuff out of Texas. Right there where you guys are at, they sell a lot. And
Right. Yeah.
so the Superior
All right, Carmen.
way.
Well, I'm going to jump off here. We got some.
Yeah, I
errands
need
gotta
to get
do.
going anyway. I've got 2 appointments coming up this afternoon, and I got to leave here before too long. But this has been a lot of fun.
Yep.
I'm going to try to do this at
Living
least
up.
once a month. Just open it up for anybody that wants to join me. Come on in, and I'll put out a link for you. You'll be welcome to join me on the panel, and we'll just sit around and have a chit chat.
And
Yeah,
we do
yeah,
have a
that's
website. Seven Rivers does have a sevenriverslivestock.com. And they have, you can go on our and see our barn and the market report and all that on that.
Right.
So if you need that information,
Okay, well,
Seven
I
Rivers.
want to.
Seven Rivers,
Okay.
It's the number 7.
number 7 and Rivers.
So anyway, thank you everybody who came in and participated in the chat. And
Hit the thumbs up, folks.
thank you, Jesse, for coming up. And please be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment after the video and share it out. Join me again next Monday for another Meet Me Monday. Hopefully, we'll have another guest. And if not, I'll come up with something for us to chit chat about.
Midday
Have
Monday
a wonderful week.
You
Yeah.
bet. You bet. It's been fun.
It has. It's been a lot of fun. I love chit chatting with you. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful, blessed week. And I will have a video out for you on Thursday. So I will see you later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.